My hometown, part 3. At La Martiniere, I discovered three chums, two Muslims and one Hindu. Call it serendipity, but that made us a group of two Muslims and two Hindus. These friendships have survived 60 years and grow as time moves on. Let me take the Muslim friends first. Sayyid Naqvi came from a family which was core Congressy. They were, moreover, highly cultured and slightly shady. Said's father was a successful criminal lawyer about whom it was rumored that if you went to him with a dagger in your hand and blood on your shirt, he would enthusiastically take up your case and get you pronounced not guilty. The Naqvis were richer than the Mehtas, but not by much. Said was unquestionably the star of our politically correct group. He could recite poetry non stop. He produced a mysterious uncle, paralyzed waist downwards, who had allegedly read every book ever printed. Courtesy this invalid gentleman, Said compiled English poetry about Lucknow and its people and pasted it all over Hajratganj. We found the verses irresistible. Ajad Khan was probably the richest day scholar in La Martiniere. His father owned general engineering works in Old Lucknow. He had two cars and one scooter. His lunch was delicious non vegetarian with a lovely vegetable thrown in, and his mother generously sent enough for four. He fed us in and outside school. This feeding frequently irked him, and when he took us out for a treat, he would say, "Idiots, you at least pay the tip." He still lives in Lucknow, and while his fortunes have diminished, his heart has not. Ashok Kotra was not as rich as Ajad, but he was definitely better off than Saeed and me. Whenever we were short of money for our escapades, he would sell his mother's milk coupons. Ashok's father was a well known journalist. He edited the National Herald and later the Indian Express and various other papers. Presently, Ashok lives in Cheltenham, has been married to a French girl for 35 years, smokes a pipe, but still speaks English like a vogue. I am in touch with him. Not only did we become thick as thieves, our families got close too. It is a cliche to assert that you only make friends in your youth. As you get older, you can at best make acquaintances, cronies, associates, but seldom friends. Perhaps I don't have the gift for friendship, that wonderful knack of striking up fraternal bonds of trust and affection. In any case, after school, I have not made any new friends. Ajad, Ashok, Sayed, and I could be described as the four idiots. While Sayed and Ashok were quite clever, Ajad was a dud like me. What united us was the conviction that school was meant for minimum studying and maximum fooling. In adhering to this virtuous code, we were not unique. However, what distinguished us from run of the mill pranksters was the scale and inventiveness of our capers. We were caned on our backs, on our hands, punished with after our detention, fined. Our parents were summoned and warned of the possibility of expulsion, but to no effect. Don't get me wrong, we never robbed or assaulted anybody. We did not indulge in arson or felony. We never led a riot or revolt or tried to overthrow the established order of La Martiniere. Our transgressions were just inspired stunts, nothing more. If our parents did not exactly encourage us in our mischief, they certainly did not deter us. In fact, most mothers and fathers of my school going generation believed it was absolutely normal for their children to get up to mischief, and they would announce to their friends with pride that their kid was naughty. Here is a sample of our naughtiness. Attending chapel first thing in the morning was completely abhorrent to us. On the school terrace, the boys had to fall in house by house and be led in for prayer and hymn singing. Our objections to chapel were not religious. 7 a.m. was just too damn early to turn out for a boring sacrament. So we obtained a kind of fatwa from a Maulvi and a Pandit forbidding us from participating in Christian prayers. The school authorities had no option but to excuse us on religious grounds, and we went to town boasting how we had successfully kicked the system. Naturally, word got to the masters that the four idiots were gloating over the victory they felt they had scored. The school hit back. A new rule was formulated. While it was not compulsory for non Christian students to attend chapel, they had to fall in and answer the roll call before being excused. This setback, which defeated the very purpose of our protest, did not lessen our sense of triumph. We had won some sort of victory by forcing the authorities to change the rules. Sayyid's family connections enabled us part-time use of Dar ul Shafa, the official home for member of parliaments and member of legislative assemblies in the heart of town. In Dar ul Shafa, a room was allotted to Said's uncle, an MLA from Raebareli. When we bunked the school, this was our preferred hideout. The uncle was seldom around. Here we cooked food, made plans for further adventures. I was always interested in sports. I began by trying my hand at tennis. I was selected for the prestigious Rajkumari Amrit Kaur coaching scheme, and my coach told my father that I had potential. Tennis, alas, turned out to be an expensive sport, especially the max play racket. I played with an inferior local brand, and this troubled me. In the Gymkhana club where I practiced stood a table tennis table. I took to the table tennis tentatively and soon found I had an aptitude for ping pong as it was then known. Besides, ping pong, unlike tennis, required no fancy equipment. The Barna bat, the sole equipment needed, cost around 12 rupees, a price within my reach. In a couple of years, I was playing serious competitive table tennis. I won the UP championship 7 times and became the first player from the state to be ranked in India. My contemporaries were Gautam Diwan, Sudhir Thakare, Farooq Khodaji, Jayant Vora, all from Bombay. I first became conscious of the Hindu Muslim problem through table tennis. In the 50s and 60s in Lucknow, the table tennis scene was highly communalized. The clubs, Bengali Club, Firangi Mahal Club, Sanyal Club, and others were fiercely rivals mainly due to communal hostilities. My complete ignorance of this sentiment was a boon. Because I was by far the best player in the city and the state, clubs vied with each other to secure my patronage for representing them in the annual inter-club tournaments. I changed clubs frequently. Sometimes I played for a Hindu club, sometimes for a Muslim club. I enjoyed the arbitrary changes of allegiance. A Dr. Mansur Ahmad and I used to practice at the Firangi Mahal complex. I had no idea then that Firangi Mahal was a noted Orthodox Muslim seminary. With the burning hills, blowing heat and dust, and temperatures around 45 degrees centigrade, wet towel wrapped around my head, I used to cycle from my cantonment home to the old city where Firangi Mahal was located. Frankly, I was slightly defensive about my prowess at ping pong since it was never considered a man's sport. However, this sport enabled me to travel all over country, even to Sri Lanka, and my championship victories fetched prize money of rupees 300 to 500. The cash was most useful. Thank you for listening. Call it serendipity, but that made us a group of two Muslims and two Hindus. SGRGNDIPATY. Serendipity means the fact of finding interesting or valuable things by chance. Ashok lives in Cheltenham, has been married to a French girl for 35 years, smokes a pipe but still speaks English like a Vogue. WOG, Vogue. Vogue means a person who is not native. However, what distinguished us from run of the mill pranksters was the scale and inventiveness of our cappers. CAPERS. Cappers means A wild, foolish action or prank. Thank you very much. Siddhama.